So today we have one of our co-founders, Sandeep, sitting down with us. Sandeep, I thought one of the topics that our audience would be interested in is kind of making a transition from ultimately you had a previous career in finance and now you're involved in technology. And I know that we have a lot of people out there that think about something similar making that transition. So I thought it'd be cool to spend a couple minutes talking about it. So to give everybody an idea, why don't we just a brief overview of what you used to do, previous jobs you had, et cetera.
Got it. So out of school, I worked in equity research, so knew nothing about the stock market, but was tasked with analyzing stocks in the insurance industry and becoming an expert on a handful of stocks. From there, started a healthcare company, brick and mortar, non-tech, and then from there I joined a private equity firm. And not the traditional private equity firm, small, two guys and myself, and we had a bunch of capital from some very wealthy families, and we were tasked with basically finding unique and interesting places to invest through acquisitions of other companies.
Anything you miss specifically about finance? Obviously, spent a lot of time doing it. Yearn for anything?
I think what I miss most is, at a fairly young age, you're interacting with people at sort of the highest levels of these companies you're talking to, and you learn so much that I think you don't always get when you're just running a business and you're kind of heads down. And I think the other thing, and I get this a lot when I talk to my friends who are in private equity or other areas of finance, you get a more macro perspective of the world. When you're running a tech company, you get fairly micro in that you're focusing on this one thing, and you don't really have a lot of chances to step out and think about the bigger picture. And I actually find, like, when my friends in private equity or finance talk to me about like these trends, kind of expecting me to contribute some wonderful thoughts.
Sure.
I've got nothing.
Sure.
Because I'm hyper focused on what we're doing and making this work. So
I think one of the interesting things, and I come from a consulting background, that we think about is for lack of a better term, making the jump, right? At some point, each of us and a lot of the people who work here at Metric Collective had to make a decision saying, I'm ready to change industries. Anything as you sit here today, when you think back to that decision-making process you had to go through that you wish you knew or you wish you thought about differently? I'm sure we've made a lot of mistakes and regrets and et cetera, but as far as changing industries and careers.
I think one thing you learn from starting something is I don't think you're ever fully prepared for the ups and downs. And the stress and how you manage that is very challenging. And I think that's not something you ever kind of figure out fully, but you get a lot better at it.
Yeah.
And I wish probably in the early days I was a little bit more aware of what to expect in the ups and downs. And I think I think you have to go into something like this for the right reasons. And if it's purely financially motivated, I tend to think that this is not the best path to do that, because you can stay in finance or other professions where it's more of a guaranteed sort of route, and it's got to be more than just outcome driven. This is something you want. You have to have the desire to want to lead something, build something, see something like tangible from your efforts, and if you get caught up in just making the most money, I don't think it ends up working.
Yeah, and then last question I have is, there's going to be a lot of people out there who thinking about this, right? It's in the back of their mind, the way the media portrays the technology industry, the tech startup life. I think there's probably a lot of people who consider it, maybe in the back of their mind, the front of their mind. Any advice you give, about how to think about that? I mean, you obviously made the jump, I made the jump, and I don't think we regret the decisions we made, but somebody who's in that kind of cloudy, should I do it, should I not? Any advice you give them about a way to think of it?
I think people tend to glamorize tech, and I think there is there's a problem in that people in tech don't disclose vulnerabilities or fears, and so I think I actually find it to be counterproductive. It's not often that you meet people who actually say, hey, my company's not doing well, or I'm struggling with this, or I'm not sure what's going to happen. But I think you have the truest conversations and the truest picture of what it's like when you have those conversations. And so I would just say, if you're thinking about making the move, talk to people and try to get the real story of what's going on, because it's not all about like getting in TechCrunch and throwing launch parties and all that stuff. I mean, there's a lot of crap that comes with it, and you should be prepared for that. And if you find that you're talking to people and everyone's saying just great things about their company's killing it, they're probably not being fully honest, and you should try to get a more balanced view so that you have real perspective going in.
Yeah, certainly makes a lot of sense to me, and I would agree with a lot of the points you make. Thank you very much for stopping by, and hopefully we'll get you back on again soon.